The one thing holding you back in your business. Now, this is something that we brought up recently inside the Scary Good Business Advantage, and it was stuff that we were really working on to help our members see the success that they want, because a lot of the times success is really a mental game. It's not really all the tips and tricks and strategies and tactics. Those help, but without having a good mental game, none of those things are ever going to work. And I wanted to talk about this because now moving into the new year, this is really something that you want to evaluate, right? And this goes across the board. And it's not just some of our students inside the Scary Good Business Advantage. I've met a lot of business owners that have this same kind of crippling mindset. And really what it is we need to be honest with ourselves. At the end of the day, if we're not honest and we don't really understand the barriers that we have and how to remove them, we're really just not going to be as successful. And just a few of these common barriers that I've seen, and some that I even had to work on and really understand how to remove these barriers, are things that, well, I just don't feel like I can produce the results that maybe a customer or client wants. Or, sometimes it could even be things like, well, I'm just a small business and I can't really do what those big multi-million-dollar companies have. And the big key thing here is, for example, like if you feel like maybe some of that imposter syndrome, or you just feel like you could never ask more money for the products or services you're offering, take a step back and ask yourself, okay, if I wanted to charge double what I'm charging now, what would actually make me feel comfortable in doing that? Because at the end of the day, there may be something that's holding us up, and we really just have to be honest with ourselves and sit down and ask ourselves these questions, right? So I know for some people it may be, well, if I want to charge double, then I feel like maybe I need to have a proven process, or maybe I need to have customers that know exactly what they want. Whatever it is, then once you know that, start figuring out what are the steps you need to take to make those things a reality, right? Sometimes it could be just as simple as, well, I feel like the video quality that I can shoot is not as good as it could be. So that's the thing. Okay, well, what would make the video quality better? Is that new equipment? Is that better equipment? Is that even just maybe knowing how to use your equipment better, right? Taking the time to properly know it, right? And this is just an example in video production. Like I said, my background before marketing and advertising was video production. But that's the thing, is figuring out what those are, right? For instance, like if it's in your business and maybe you also do marketing and advertising, and you're like, well, I just don't think I can charge twice as much because I don't feel like we have a solid process down. What would help you get a solid process down? Is that working with more clients? Is that being able to spend more money in advertising? Whatever it is. Now you know those things, go out and start working towards those things, right? Because if we don't get over these subconscious blocks that you have, you're never going to be successful. Because anytime that you go into a sales presentation, in the back of your mind, you're going to have that little voice that's going to say, well, I don't think we can charge this much because of XYZ. So that's what we want to do, is we want to work on those things and start figuring out how can we remove those blocks. And ultimately what I find is we just need to ask ourselves, what would it actually take for us to do those things, and then actually do them. Because more times than not, we just say, well, I just can't do it because I'm whatever, right? And we just leave it at that, and we never dig deep into those things. So that's really what I want you to do right now, is go and start working on these things. And in the comment section below, I want you to leave one comment of one barrier that you have and how you're actually going to remove that barrier so that you can become more successful this year. So go ahead and leave your comment below, and I look forward to seeing it.